Okay, so today you're going to be making a pop bottle. Now, you can really make this however you want. Here's just a quick design I came up with, but yours will be whatever you want to look like, and it does involve some backing up and starting things over and whatnot. But let's go ahead and get started to see how we can do this. So let me open a new part quick. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is you're going to make a line that is 8 inches tall. Okay, and remember we can always use that dimension tool, which is right up top, to get that 8-inch line. And then you're going to take a 1/2-inch line over to the right and a 1/2-inch line down. So let me grab my dimension tool. Whoops, I hit 5, so I can just double click back on it, do 0.5. 0.5, and that should correct itself. 0.5. Amazing. These are our first 3 lines. Pause the video and draw those in if you have not already. From here, it's really up to you what you want to do. This basically gets us the height of our bottle, and this 0.5 is going to be the mouthpiece of our bottle. So you can take anything, spline, arc, line, whatever you want, and all you have to do is basically make your way all the way back down with whatever shape you want back to the bottom of this line here, this 8-inch line. Okay, so you just basically need to connect, and whatever path you want to take to connect all the way back down to the bottom is going to end up making the shape of your bottle. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. Number 1, you want at least a flat surface on the bottle, on the bottom of the bottle, because it will need to sit like a normal pop or water bottle would on a flat surface. Okay, so when you've gotten your lines, go ahead, finish sketch, and try the rotate or the revolve tool. Click on your profile or your enclosed 2D shape, and click on your axis. Your axis is going to be your 8-inch line in the middle here, the first one that you drew. And when you click on it, take a look. They're not all going to be winners to start out, and I really want you to actually go through about 5 to 6 bottles minimum before deciding on one. So that means do this, say, okay, that's what shape that was roughly, kind of remember that, draw it down if you need to, and then undo back to this point here, back to this point here, and start over. Maybe this time you take your spline tool and you connect all the way down to the bottom. Okay? Now, for time's sake, I'm going to keep our original design. And after you've tried your 5 or 6 and you come up with the perfect idea for what you want, there's a couple more steps. Number 1, you're going to use your newest tool called Shell. It's right up here at the top in our 3D model window. And Shell is an interesting tool. You got to be careful with it. First thing you do before you click on anything, go up to the top of the bottle and click. That you should see it actually open then. If for some reason it's not opening or the shell's not working, you may need to play around with the thickness. By default, it's set to 0.1. You can always set it to 0.01 though if it's not working, which will just basically make the bottle thinner. Okay, if it's really not working and you just are stumped on it, call me over. But a lot of the times, either somebody will forget to click on the top or they forget to play with the thickness. So try those 2 solutions first. You'll notice now that this thing is completely hollowed out. That's what Shell does. It hollows out the insides, and by clicking on the top there, it just says, okay, I'll make a little opening on that flat surface. Okay. From there, we need to click Thread, which is right over here, just to the right of Shell. And Thread, we're just going to click the outside of our mouthpiece here and hit OK. So we've got a nice looking bottle. Okay, so this thing is good to go. I would definitely give it some other look other than just the standard gray. So decide on something that looks cool to you. And here's where you can really get it interesting. To look a little bit more like mine, I added a little flare into mine. For instance, what I did is I did a sketch. And remember, any flat surface you can sketch on. And all I did was I just made a little circle. Okay, and then I put a line through the circle, I did finish sketch. And now watch this, and this is one of those things where you'll have to kind of do some playing around in Inventor. I hit revolve, and I clicked 1/2 of the circle as my profile, and my axis, I clicked the line. Okay? When I hit OK, it gives me this little bead here. Okay? You could do spikes, you could do a little bead like this, or play around, make your own type of little additional decoration on this. Then I hit that circular pattern, once again, that we've learned about before. And you just click for features, you click on your actual shape. Rotation axis, just what do you want to rotate it around? I put 20 of them on there. And see how it looks. It just gives it that added little flair, your personal touch. And I want everybody to try to do that unless you're falling way behind. We should be trying to explore Inventor, find these new things that put us a little bit ahead of or make us a little bit different from all of our other students around us, okay? So you want to add your own personal style to it. You can go ahead and save that when you are done, and then try to make a bottle cap. The bottle cap is going to need to fit over the bottle, and my only hint that I will give you as far as making the bottle cap is if we go way back to the beginning. When we did our revolve, we made the mouthpiece 0.5, 0.5. So when you revolve a bottle cap, you're going to have these two lines on the underside of the shape that you are revolving. Okay? 0.5 and 0.5. Good luck with that. Try your best. Remember that undo button is your best friend, and raise your hand if you have any questions.